this story coming out of Brazil. How do you keep something like that tied down so well? And you really don't think about it. Like, what? I mean, when I first heard it was kind of ridiculous.
When did you first hear about it?
2 days ago.
Oh, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
That's when they're saying it happened?
It happened the day, actually, so 3 days, probably almost 3 days ago, but it's sometime.
They're saying it happened last Wednesday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so, when I called up the guys to ask them that question, it wasn't one of my, hey man, I got something really cool to ask you about a gun or about some sort of thermal imager or night vision or, whatever. It was about UFOs. And I could hear the guys kind of chuckling in the back. So it's funny, when you don't really take into consideration that it's real. Listen, when you talk to people who see Bigfoot, dude, these are people who not only tell you a story, but have fear in their eyes.
Yeah.
I talked to a cat here in Florida who was up in the Panhandle in a little area called Torreya State Park. It's probably one of the coolest parks in the state. It's like going to North Carolina, but you only have to go 5 hours to get there. They got little streams and running water and 80-foot bluffs and great hiking trails. Just a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And he saw an 8-foot, actually recorded it with a thermal imager, and took a video of it as it stepped between two trees. One of these Bigfoot organizations got a hold of the information. That's how I ended up seeing it on YouTube. And went back and looked at the same tree where this guy said this animal was. And when this animal is standing behind the tree, one of the first things you can notice is you can see his shoulders on each side of the tree. When they put this guy that was 6'4" in front of the tree, you could only see his shoulder if he popped one side out on one side of the tree or the other. Mm-hmm. When he took these steps out to walk away, it took about 2 steps for this animal to be completely out of the picture, and it took him like 5 steps to get out of the picture.
Jeez.
So, listen.
Saying that thing's big.
It was huge. He said it was over 8 feet. We start chuckling. Listen, I used to go camping out there and backpacking, and I've never seen anything. But yet he's got it on video. Not only that, this guy was scared when he was telling the story. I'm not going back out there again. I know there's animals out there now that are much bigger than me, and I'm not. He goes, if I'd have shot this thing, I'd have just made it mad.
Yeah.
So, again, you look at the kind of individual. Where do these stories come from? Or listen, are we headed for some new point in man's existence now that something's going to be revealed to us? You got us locked down. All these weird things are going on around on the planet. What's really going on?
Yeah.
You look at the pandemic, when you start talking about how we ended up where we're at here today, this Brazilian thing. Oh, and did I tell you too, by the way, this is kind of odd. President Trump put on a travel ban today to Brazil.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that.
Yep.
You read that too?
He was talking about that. Yeah, I saw that today.
Is there really a fucking I got to look that up.
So is that weird? I mean, again, so is it a coincidence? Is it just kind of one of those weird moments that you're like, wow, dude, check this out. All it does is fan the fire.
Right.
And the people who are diehards are, no, let me tell you, this is why.
Right.
AP, Associated Press, White House imposes coronavirus travel ban to Brazil, on Brazil.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
And again, is that just a weird set of circumstances? Because listen, everybody that's in the video that's talking about this thing that crashed here is wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So, there's some legitimacy there. But again, what? Why Brazil all of a sudden? Why did they get picked out?
That's freaky.
Right.
Of all the places right now with that coming up?
Right.
And it's funny they just now decided to do that. Literally
12 hours ago, I think, is if you look at when the message came out, it was 12 or 13 hours ago.
So 3 days after this supposed UFO crashed in Brazil, the U.S. decides to put a travel ban
in place.
Nobody could go there.
You're not going. So again, it's just
that raises my blood pressure just a little bit.
But see, it's just those little events like that take place that make you go, wait a minute, really?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I didn't listen when I first go all the way back to the first guy that asked me the question. Hey, did something crash in Brazil? I'm like, no, dude. Who crashes in Brazil? I mean, come on. Their aerospace program. Do they have an aerospace program? No, they don't.
Right.
Why would anybody even be interested in what they do?
Right.
So, like I say, when that first came to me, I kind of joked about it. Then when the other guy called me up and asked me, and he wasn't doing it from a, hey, man.
And who is the other guy?
Just my buddy over at the State Department.
The State Department. Okay.
His name is Terry Brandis.
Okay.
I can say his name. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
It's not, like I say, he's not a spook. He doesn't do anything
Okay.
real important. Super nice guy, but just interested in this as I am.
Yeah.
From a, hey, wow, check this out. And so he called me up with it. And because this guy's got a little bit more of a background, and he's, again, started telling me, hey, I'm asking because I heard some hoopla about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what the hell? You're at the State Department. Who cares about?
Right.
Well, I mean, listen, if it's a real UFO, we have a lot to say about it. So start to peel the layers of the onion back. Hey, let me just ask somebody. I call my buddies up. We're having a 5-minute. Listen, these guys aren't predestined. I've never even had a UFO conversation with them about this.
Okay.
So it's not part of, again, who we are. We're all
Right.
dealing in weapon platforms and guns and explosives. And that's very, very cool. And, we all love that. These guys are all knuckle draggers. They're some of the best warriors in the world. This was the last thing that anybody thought I was going to call him and ask him about, which kind of brings more validity to the story, because then he goes back and he just doesn't ask his team within Gara. He goes back to BOPE. And not only does BOPE know about it, they got a perimeter set up around this place and everything's locked down. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
And BOPE is communicating
That's
back to
crazy.
him, basically just admitting to him, a UFO landed.
He's one of them. He was a commander within Gara. So these guys, it's like everything else. Listen, if you're part of the N, if you're part of the no, then you're part of the no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind sharing tactics with you on how to assault an airplane if I know we're on the same team. If we're not on the same team,
Right.
you're never going to know. I know how to assault a plane.
Yeah.
So this is kind of that same format, dealing with guys who are like-minded. Again, these guys did it for 25. One guy was 25 years. The other guy was 29 years with Gara. So they know all the top guys with BOPE, and BOPE all these guys. It's, when they went there, just to give you an example and to make you understand what civil rights are all about, I had trained a bunch of them here on, it's called a 40 mic. They're these little, they shoot wooden batons, and they're basically for crowd control. And so I'm showing, we got about 100 guys here that I'm instructing. They're going to go back and show 98,000 guys how to use these.
Wow.
So, and they're getting ready to have the, what's the big soccer game they have every year?
The World Cup.
The World Cup was taking place in Brazil. And they were getting ready to train all their guys up. So they came over here and
Those fuckers get crazy during the World Cup.
oh, dude, they get real crazy. Well, they were mad too because they were spending all this money on the World Cup, and the people believed that money goes to us. It should be coming back here to the States and not being used for this World Cup event that's coming back. We're putting all these millions and millions of dollars out here. So they were mad. And what they do is they set up 3 rings of security to make sure they keep the tourists that are there to see the games safe. And so they go through this whole process, get it set up. Well, I'm showing these guys how to use the wooden batons, and what you're supposed to do is kind of shoot the ground, and you skip them off, and they hit you across the shins, and they make you change your mind of wanting to come over and riot and have
Right.
well, what they would do was they would actually shoot the guys like in the ribs and on the face
Fuck.
and kill them
Oh shit.
and drag their bodies off. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, hey, this is not America. You don't have civil rights here. We tell you to get out of here. You don't get out of here. Whatever happens to you, and you're on your own.
Damn.
So, and that's the way it goes. So Gara is that first group, and then BOPE is above them with regards to, if BOPE's coming to get you, if BOPE rolls in, it's going to be a bad day. They're not there to talk anybody out of the building. They're probably going to level the building with you in it. So, again, taking into consideration, that's really what we talk about. Dude, these guys were blown away. The fact, how do you know in the U.S. that we've got an event taking place here in Boca? And we don't know that. And I said, listen, I got lucky because it was just a kind of a queer coincidence of how we ended up here.
Yeah.
But for you guys to confirm it, I said, has anybody released any information? He goes, I'm not finding any more out other than, hey, man, we got something here. It went down the night before. We have a security perimeter set up. I'm sure that, the first thing I would think about is radioactivity. So I'm obviously don't want to run into any place that's going to be, hot and be like, oh, how did Hengstebeck die?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but again, to me, it's one of these events that take place that can't be ignored.
You think we'll hear more news about it, or?
I would say we would almost have to.
Yeah.
It's somebody is going to pull the plug on this and want to be the first guy to talk about it.
This is the video right there. So is
This-
this the right
this is
video?
what?
This is
The video of
The
the lights
crash?
over Brazil. The
Lights.
The crash, right?
yeah. Now, like I say, there's several different ones.
There's a bunch of different
Did
videos.
I think I sent you. Actually, sent them to your phone.
Yeah, you did.
And all right, now this looks like.
This is the video that's embedded in the Vice article.
Okay, now see that the other one shows these red lights. It's just very bizarre. I told you, it looks like a movie.
Yeah.
It's really, hang on here. It's really strange with regards to the actual.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if you can just trust some random meme page on Instagram. I'll pull up that video real quick.
Well, and listen, I think too, and I forgot to even bring up. Do you remember that day?
This is the video you sent me right here.
There it is, right there. That's the one right there.
Now, I haven't seen this video anywhere else.
Now, the police are going crazy. You can see everything that's going on. I know there's no sound on.
This is sideline culture on Instagram.
So again, even if you say, okay, that's not a UFO. All right, fine. What are you looking at? What is this? What are those lights in the sky? Are those drones?
So this looks similar to what was on the Vice article, this part right here. That first thing with that big like hula hoop looking thing, I haven't seen that anywhere else.
No. I mean, even this, like I say, this is definitely in Brazil. I mean, they're speaking Portuguese.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're saying. I actually probably need to go down and talk to the guys that are here. And what are they saying? Are they saying, look at that thing in the sky? Look at that thing in the sky.
Yeah.
The other one I had actually shows them launching rockets off, and the rockets are going off.
Yeah, you can hear explosions going off.
And it's a defensive measure. But you're like, well, what are the Brazilians? Who are they at war with? What are they shooting those things off for? So then
This is the clip that shows the part of the map that's whited out or cut out. So
and like I say, it's compelling. It's just very compelling. And you start looking again. You take these little events here, take that event there, and all of a sudden they end up somewhere like this. And can you imagine what will happen if there's actually a vehicle here that's crashed and they come out to the world and say, hey, listen, we actually got it. And oh, by the way, here's the bodies.
You think they would actually do that, though?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. But at the same token, you kind of get caught with your pants down. You're like, oh, hey,
Right.
what are you doing there with your pants down? You know, oh, I'm not doing anything. Well, it looks to me like you are.
Yeah.